And that's why, Alex, there's going to only be one answer, and it's going to be in the streets, because these people are not going to give up. Every nation is going to have the same problem America's going to have. They're all going to be on the verge of revolution. That's why I don't think we'll ever see foreign troops brought in to quell anything in America. I mean, let's say that Brazil was asked to send troops in to America to help put down insurrection. Well, the minute they do that, they're going to have insurrection in Brazil because there's no troops around.
Well, look at Greece. Look at San Francisco. The cop cold-bloodedly kills the guy. They say the cop's going to go free. He did a good job killing him. And so the people riot. What do you expect them to do?
That's right.
Thank God they still got some humanity in them, some anger. And the media decries it. They should just sit down and enjoy the fact this young man's dead. That officer did an excellent job. Bob Chapman, that's sick. Just absolutely. And then they lied about it and said there weren't any videotapes. It turned out there were. I mean, just unbelievable. We'll be right back with Bob Chapman and your phone calls. Stay with us. Terror Storm, a history of government-sponsored terror. Loose Change Final Cut. Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. The True Story of the Bilderberg Group. The Late Great USA. America, Freedom to Fascism. These are just a few of the hundreds of powerful documentary films and books available at truthnews.us and prisonplanet.com. When you visit prisonplanet.com, you can connect to our amazing online store. Whether you're looking for survival and wellness products like Berkey water filters, or you would like a book on the history of the Federal Reserve, we've got the most well-researched and documented titles, all available at prisonplanet.com. Or if you'd like, you can give the InfoWars store a call at 888-253-3139. Or you can view more than 1,000 titles in super high quality right now at prisonplanet.tv. Knowledge is power, and the information you need to effectively wake up your fellow man and fight the New World Order is available right now at truthnews.us and prisonplanet.tv. Join the InfoWar today. I want to start going to your calls right now because listeners will bring up a lot of questions that I wouldn't have thought to ask or that points that Bob wouldn't have thought to make, but he has knowledge on. But briefly, Bob, dealing with the nature of the overlords that are carrying this out, they're not invincible, they're not God. They have a lot of systems of brainwashing and control and deception, but once people lose confidence in them, you know, they'll try to set up new dummy institutions to get confidence. That's what Obama is, but people are already seeing through that facade rather quickly, and we see that degrading fast. So I predict within 6-8 months you'll have a 50% approval rating, 40% approval rating instead of 60+ right now, and then it'll plunge down to about 15% within a year and a half. Congress still has a 9% approval rating, but Bob, when you read the PNAC documents of Brzezinski's The Great Chessboard or Between Two Ages, you know, they say, we're the world empire, we've got to make this move, it's risky, but we've got to try to enslave everybody. They're very honest about it. And so I guess it's the position of we've got the power, we've got to use it, and so they're overreaching. I agree with you. I don't see this New World Order going too well.
Yeah, I think they've made a lot of mistakes, particularly in the last 10 years. And Brzezinski, 3.5, 4 years ago, said that, particularly in relation to the Bush administration, which has just been a disaster for them. And they passed a point of no return in June 2002. And I know that Paul Craig Roberts says there's no way back. Well, there's been no way back for a long time, about 6 years. And so they got to go forward with this thing. And they're not going to come out unscathed. When you see Kissinger in his three minutes on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange a couple of days ago, telling us that Obama's going to usher in the New World Order, he's letting everybody on Wall Street and corporate America and in banking and government know that the program's still on and we're in there and we're going to make it happen.
And he's saying you better toe the line.
That's right. It was essentially a threat, and I like threats because it makes me more steadfast. And let them do what they want. We're going to beat them, Alex. It's going to be very painful, but we're going to beat them.
I agree. Now we see Pat Robertson saying socialism will save us. He says, you know, the people will accept it. He says Obama is unstoppable. Just submit to him.
He's been talking to God again. Why don't we ever have that opportunity? Why is it always him?
Well, hey, Bob, why do we see all these top real estate brokers, bond brokers, and other? Adolf Merkel, one of the world's richest men, mysteriously dies, commits suicide. We're seeing a lot of these mid-level elitists dying.
Well, I can't answer why, because I don't know. They said it was a suicide, but who knows? You know, I've seen suicides where people have shot themselves in the back. You know, they've got this thing, this system so controlled. It's just like you pointed out earlier. The policeman shoots a man in the back and said he was defending himself, and there were no cameras when in fact there were. And they're still not going to do anything. It's okay to murder people.
Yeah, they confiscate people's cell phone cameras, and it turns out people in another train did get video of it, and now they're in a lot of trouble, but they're so arrogant, they say, cop goes free, nothing we can do about it. Yeah, this guy threw himself...
But that vein goes entirely through this upper echelon of, we can never be wrong. We get two sets of rules, one for us, one for you, and that's the way it's going to be. Well, I get news for them. We're going to change it, Alex, aren't we?
Well, we don't have any choice. We've got to. These people are giving us no quarter. But let's go ahead and go to a phone call for Bob Chapman. Don in Canada, you're on the air. Hey, Don, you want to be on air? Okay,
Hello?
Yep, go ahead, Don. You want to be on air? Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions. One was Marvin Bush. I'm sort of... I like your movies like 9/11, Truth Rising, but I'm sort of surprised there's no Marvin Bush footage. I was just wondering, is the truthers, this is a call out to the truthers to get footage of Marvin Bush? Someone asked me.
Well, I mean, we confront who we can confront in cities all across the nation, and Marvin Bush doesn't come out from under his rock much. But, yes, in two of my 9/11 films, we do talk about how he was running security on the World Trade Centers. And then the debunkers say that's not true. It's in mainstream news articles, and his mother wrote about it in her memoir 3 years ago. That's how we know about it.
Yeah. But I just want to say something to the truthers. They're doing a great job, and keep it up. And one last question is about Arnold Schwarzenegger wearing the Nazi death head belt buckle.
Mm-hmm.
And in the magazine with Bloomberg. And actually, probably a year ago, I saw him with Bloomberg on another cover wearing the same belt buckle. And, I'm just shocked that no one's ever asked him a question about that.
Because, again, there's rules for us and then rules for them. He can say he loves Hitler. He can say he wants to be a dictator. That's good. If you say he's a Nazi, the ADL calls you a Nazi.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Chapman's our guest. We're continuing with your phone calls. Sean in New York, you're on the air with Bob Chapman. Go ahead.
How you doing, Bob? What I wanted to ask Bob, pretty much, is it even worth us paying? I know it's pretty stupid, but I mean, just asking, since the money is pretty much going to amount to nothing, is it pretty much even worth paying, like, most of these bills and credit card debts and all these sort of things that the American people are going to be having to deal with? I mean, if the money is pretty much going to be worth nothing at all?
Well, you've got to understand that the people that you owe the money to are still going to be within the system. There is going to be some kind of a system. Maybe it'll break down from time to time, but you're still going to have to pay it off. And just because the value of the dollar goes down, it still means that you have to pay those bills. The way you protect yourself is to call Midas and purchase gold and silver coins.
Well, sir, let me break down the basics of this. It's a very sophisticated, nuanced question. Here's the deal, and they've announced this. England is actually bringing back debtor prisons where they're going to put you in jail if you haven't paid debts, where they're going to allow repo men, bounty hunters in the U.S. and England, this is now being announced, to come in your house, to knock your door down and come in and literally take your jewels, whatever they want. This is already happening in England. They're proposing it here. And so what's going to happen is if you don't pay your credit cards, if you don't pay your house, if you don't pay for things like that, when they push onto a cashless society, and this is already starting to happen, that means even if you're trying to pay cash, they're going to demand you swipe your card or when you pay with a check.